Hey, Diane DeWald here at creativecrafts.com, and today we're going to talk about ink swatching. For the longest time I've resisted this, and the more and more I've seen several people through the YouTube universe right now doing this kind of thing, and I'm starting to do some watercolor and I'm collecting different mediums, and I'm seeing a huge benefit for seeing the actual colors of the ink pads on the medium and the colors that you typically use or that I typically use. So here in this finished product right here, these are my Gina K inks. I only have 7 of them. I'm working on collecting them. I really love the colors. I love how they stamp out. But here's my 7, and these little cards are 2 by 2 inches, and this is just a I think it's called coin pocket. I'll have a link down below in the video. I bought these off of Amazon. I'm doing something very similar with sentiments, and that's a future video which I hope you will return for. But it just comes, I think they come, and I don't remember, and I should have this at my fingertips, and I apologize, but I'll have the info in the, like I said, in the description. I think it came 5 to a pack, and I bought, I think 5 of them for all of my ink swatching, because I do have all the Altenew colors, and I want to get them all swatched out. It's going to take me a long time, because I also have the Tim Holtz oxide, distress oxide, and the distress inks. But the reason I'm going to go one step further, and I've also seen this, is when you've got ink pads and you've got them stacked like this, you have no idea what color it is, who it's with. So I have in my craft space the inks organized by designer and by company, but like this, I have no idea what ink pad it is, what color it even remotely relates to. So I got my P-Touch cube out, and these are 1 1/4, excuse me, these are 1/4 inch, not 1 1/4. These are 1/4 inch tapes, and this one, it's got a white backing on it, but this is black on clear, and I do have some white on clear coming in a couple weeks. It's back ordered, and I wanted to get that for inks that are darker, where this is great on inks that are lighter. So when I first started out, I have this VersaClair and VersaFine Clair, and I just put this on the end. But wouldn't it be cool to see this? Isn't that awesome? So I know this is in my Simon Hurley ink area. This is Guppy, and this is the color that Guppy is. And this is later Gator. It makes sense. So what I did to achieve this is, and you can see I've got my Simon Hurley inks started. I'll come back to that. I picked up just from Avery. It doesn't have to be from Avery, but I got the little return address labels, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, because you want to cut it in half. And I'm using the 1 3/4 because it just worked for me. And I created these 1/4 inch strips from a full sheet. I will show you real quick how I just did that. And I lined it up. So I have, this is a full label. I don't know if you can see that. If the camera will focus, there it is, kind of right there. I've got a full label that I'm getting ready to cut in half. So I'm lining it up with the 1/4 inch, and it's just a matter of slicing it down like that. Put that over in my stack of them. And here, instead of doing just a 1/4 inch, I'm trying to eyeball the division between the labels and just pulling it just like that. Now, I didn't quite do that right, so it grabbed the top of the next row of labels, so I'll probably just cut that off and throw that strip away. It happens. Everybody's not perfect, so that is that. Let me just move this over to my side table Oh, I forgot I have a microphone on so you can hear me walking across. But, and I don't have this ink. This ink's on order, but I have all 30, I have 30 of the 32 Simon Hurley Creates inks, and we're going to do 4 of them. So I'm going to pause you real quick and just clean up a little bit here, and then we'll get started again. Okay, I am super OCD with my space, and if it's overcrowded, it just sends me for loops. So I have already pre-cut all of my cards except for the final 2 of the series, which is Weeping Willow and Woof. And how about, well, before I get you closer, I created a download for these so that you can download these from my blog. So I've added an area that is called free resources, and currently I have, these are just the inks I have that I've done this for and created the swatch cards for. The Catherine Pooler Designs, just the metallic line. I don't have the rest of her inks yet. I'm working on that. And then I have collected the Tim Holtz Ranger Ink Distress ink. So I have all of those swatch cards. And these are updated through, I checked yesterday, January 25th, 27th, 2025. And I'll keep it up. I'll try to keep an eye on ink releases and update these as they go along. These are completely free for you to download. And I also have the Distress Oxide. It actually just says Distress Oxide. So that way when you open up your swatch book, you see exactly which colors they are and which line they are. That's why I've got 2 separate distress lines. And then here's the Altenew. It is all 168 plus the Art Deco. And when I started collecting Altenew, I did not realize that the what is that? Deco Garden is what it's called. The Deco Garden collection of 6 inks. They are all repeats except for navy. And I did not realize that as I was collecting inks along the way. So I have 5 of the same ink pads for the Altenew series, but I went ahead and created all of them. And that way you don't have the duplicates, you can go ahead and throw away. But I'll have those out on my blog, like I said, in the free resources. You're free to download, print them, cut them, use them. Onward. So how these work, I'm going to go ahead and cut this so you'll be able to see what how to do this live. And if you're not interested, go ahead and fast forward through the video. So in this, you'll notice I have cut lines on each side. And then on this side, I've got little circles. So this is where you want to insert your blade of your whatever cutter you use. This works best for those that have the arm and not the rotary cutter or the guillotine. If you use a guillotine or the rotary that comes across, you're going to end up cutting off your guides. And if you're really good about cutting 2-inch square perfectly, go for it. But I was trying to make this easy for everybody. So I'm going to start up here at the top. And I'm going to line this up down here. Let's see if I can get you a little closer without losing too much. Okay, let me pull this forward. So in my cutting guide, there's a line down here on the cardstock. Let me lift this up real quick so you can see it. So this line here, I am trying to line up right in the middle of my cut line. So get that in there. And yes, I'm using my Stampin' Up! Trimmer. And I'm just pulling it, and I'm not going all the way to the edge. And it's just a smidge crooked. That's okay. These don't have to be perfectly square, but in order to fit in, you really do want them 2 inches by 2 inches or less. And we're just going to do, not going to cut all of them since this is all blank space down here, but you kind of get the idea. And then once you're done, you can flip it to the side like that, line up your cut lines in the middle, and then just pull it all the way down. And then line it up again. I like to pull the trimmer blade towards me. That way the cardstock's anchored down here. And just make sure that those are centered as best as I can get them. And there's your weeping willow. And all of these I'm going to pull off to the side. And we'll do one more cut. Get that. Oops, got to get that up to the top. Not doing what I was recommending. And then pulling it down. So there's your final 2 swatches, Weeping Willow and Woof. And we can move this out of the way now. So now let's get down to business. So I'm going to pause you, get this all cleaned up and set up, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. And then for my swatching, I am using from Altenew this little mini delight, like a star. I want the solid stamp right here. Whatever stamp works for you, that falls in the white space of your swatch card is what you want. And this star just fit perfectly. Now, for the end cap, I am using Gina K. I needed a pretty solid stamp, and I didn't want it to soak up too much ink, but I needed enough that it was going to get the 1/4 inch by 1 3/4 of the label strip that I've cut. So I found this little pie shape works perfectly, and I'm just putting that on a block just like that. And let me move that over. And on my Misti, and I apologize for the glare, really, here, let me put this right here for now so that you're not blinded. And hello, Sylvie. We're going to start with Minty Fresh, No Diving, Over the Moon, and Overzealous. So Minty Fresh is first. Let me grab, there it is. I was like, where did I put that stamp? So make sure that my balloon is facing correctly, because I did one earlier and had to redo it because it wasn't. And pick that up and just make sure that card is back where it's supposed to be. And we'll try to do this pretty quickly. So I'm going to get my little swatch here, I had to make sure because it's really hard to see that white on white in that small strip. So Minty Fresh. Get that out of the way too. Ugh, too much stuff on my desk. Ink that up. And I'm going to do a couple of passes just to make sure I get good color on that. Perfect. And then I'm just using a baby wipe. And I'm going to just wipe that off. And a lint-free towel. I've got some scrubbers on order. And now we're going to do the star. And again, I apologize for the glare. And I do the balloon 2 to 3 times. Just, I want a good representation of the color. Go ahead and cover that up. Same thing. Go ahead and wipe this down real quick. dry it off. Move on to the next swatch. No Diving is our next color. This is a pretty, I can't wait to see this one inked out. I love blues, and I apologize if my head gets in the way. There's a little bit of a blemish on that. Might be some cat hair hanging around. Never know, we have 2 cats, and you know, cat hair gets everywhere. And one more. Oh, that's a beautiful color. I love the No Diving. Oh, don't want to get inks mixed up. And the baby wipes I have work for about 2 different colors before they start fraying. And I really don't want. Diving Over the Moon is next. Really don't want fuzzies all over my stamps, because then it does weird things to what you're stamping on. So let me see if I can get you closer so you can really see what's going on. So you really can't see it. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. I am stamping onto the label area. Yeah, there was something from that stamp. Some side fuzz. And if my head gets in the way, I really do apologize. And let's do the star. I'm gonna have to figure something out with that glare, because I really like the Misti platform. And I don't really have a lot of lighting options in my studio. So again, I'm really sorry about that. So we'll go ahead and wipe that off. One more color, Overzealous. Nope, piggyback goes with the next round. Overzealous. Oh, I like this color. Nice lime type green. That's pretty. Okay, and on to the star. I just heard my phone out in the other room. We upgraded phones and I haven't figured out how to silence it. I'm really good with technology, but that one, it's a little different. Okay, that is all the stamping we need to do. So let me put all of that to the side, and let me get my swatch cards here. Minty, No Diving, Over the Moon. So this goes in, whoops, you can't see me that far down, so I'm just sliding them in. These are back loading. So just sliding them in like this. I love this. I was so against swatching, like I said. And look, so I'm only doing front facing so that I can, where's my Gina K? Just put them out and decide, rather than going like this all day long. I can just look at them from the front, and there you go. So that's the swatch piece. Now, let's do the front of the ink pad. I'm gonna get you even closer. So, and I noticed on, because I removed, see, I got a little bit of ink between. So I have a little bit of No Diving there. Trying to carefully wipe it off, because I pulled the side pieces of the labels, not thinking about the material. It's shiny and no stick, so yeah, I've had some ink blend a little and it shouldn't. So I've already pre-cut from this wonderful Brother P-Touch cube. I think this is the greatest thing in the world, because you just this is white 47-inch. This is black on clear and 1/4 inch, and it comes multiple sizes and it's really easy. You can only put them in one way and it's just like that. And I hook it up to my phone, I type in my information and print it out. And I've gone ahead and trimmed these to about 1 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the pieces off, and this is black on clear. And I'm lining this up as best I can. Make sure you can see me. And just like that. And then no diving comes next. Trim my fingernails and now I can't pick anything up. And if you need a little more, if you need more dexterity, I could probably do this with some tweezers. But then over the moon, and I'm making sure I'm getting the right label on the right color, because I did that this morning too. Wrong color. And it's great because this tape is 1/4 inch. What I cut of the label's a 1/4 inch, and it just lines up perfectly. Not quite centered, but that's okay. It's not perfect, but it works. Just like this. And then I'm just going to peel that up, pulled that label right off. And I like to have my ink pads go a certain way. And I'm making sure that I don't get into where the lid meets the base. And just put that down. Isn't that so cool? You can see the line right there. It's just above it. So let's continue. So let's do Over the Moon. Piece that's hanging down. See, I didn't quite cut the label correctly. So Over the Moon is all done. Look at that. Isn't that great? Like I said, it's not perfectly centered. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be functional. I can't see the line. There it is. And there's the no diving. Ooh, I got that real close to that line. And then the final one, which is Minty Fresh. Oh, this is going to work. This is going to work beautifully. So right there, you have on the side, on the end, the color and the name. So if I'm looking for a name, I'll see it. And if I'm looking for specific colors, they're right there. Isn't that wonderful? What I didn't say earlier is right now I've only got, I think, 5 lists of ink, maybe 6. If there's a particular vendor that you would like to see swatch cards for, just drop me an email. I'd be more than happy to create it and put it up there for you. So thanks so much for your time today. And where is my swatches? Here they are. So we've got swatches and we've got ink colors. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. Have a good one. So I wanted to addend the video, and I found the pockets that I use. It's from Uncle Paul, and it's 200 pockets total, so there's 10 pages of 20 in the pack, and they're nice and sturdy. And I fast forwarded, I got all my Simon Hurley except for the 2 ink pads I'm missing done. And then I also did my Distress Oxide, and you can see I've got placeholders for the inks that I don't have. I also did all of my Distress Oxide, but I won't bore you with all of that. I just wanted to addend the video and show you the pockets. The link will be down below. It'll also be over on my blog, favorite crafty items. So if you don't find the link down below, head on over to my blog, check out the list of all the products that I personally use and like. Some of the links are affiliate, some of them aren't. It's no cost to you, but if you do use one of those links, it helps support this channel, and I do appreciate it. And again, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.